So, hello students and welcome back to the first class of molecular genetics. That is the most important topic of molecular biology. Okay, we have finished classical genetics and now we are going to start with molecular genetics. And this would be the part that we are going to constitute, we are going to consult for the modern molecular biology, that is DNA replication, transcription, translation, all the different aspects of the molecular biology will be included here. Okay, so when you talk about genome organization, then you talk about the genome. Wow, what is this genome? The genome is defined as the totality of all the DNA of an individual or an species. The total amount of the genetic material which is present in an organism or which is present in its species is referred to as its genome. So it is the totality of the DNA which is present in an individual or an species. So see, each and every individual can have different types of genes present within itself. But when you are going to talk about the entire genotype of an organism, then you talk about genome. For example, okay, here I'm taking this particular example. See, just a second. No. So if you're going to talk about a cell, supposingly this is a cell. Okay, now this cell will have its own nucleus. इस cell का अपना एक nucleus होगा. Nucleus contains the genetic material present within itself. It has its own genetic material. As the genetic material which is present within itself occupies a particular location within the nucleus. हर एक genetic material एक particular location पे present होता है nucleus के अंदर. Genome is defined as sum total of all the genetic material which is present in an organism. That means within this cell, not only the genetic material is present within the nucleus, genetic material of nucleus. This is the genetic material of nucleus. Okay, of nucleus. But not only the genetic material is present within the nucleus, there are organelles such as mitochondria that has its own genetic material. So you talk about mitochondria, you talk about an organelle that has its own genetic material. Your mitochondria. Similarly, there is another organelle that is present in the case of plants that could be called as a chloroplast. Okay, so this would be a chloroplast. Okay, I'm just making a chloroplast looking, let it be assumed it as a chloroplast. Okay, so genetic material is also present in mitochondria. It is also present in the case of chloroplast. So these organisms, all these organelles present in the cell also have the genetic material. Okay, the sum total of all the genetic material is known as the genome. So genome should be referred to as the sum total of all genetic material, means including mitochondria, including chloroplast, and including the genetic material which is present in the nucleus of the cell. Then it is referred to as genome. Okay, then it is referred to as genome. The amount of DNA which is present in the haploid genome of a species is called as its C value. C value kya hai? What do you mean by the value that is referred to as C value? The amount of DNA which is present within the haploid genome of a species is referred to as its C value. This is the C value. The amount of DNA which is present in the haploid genome. Now, this amount of DNA is present in the terms of picogram. This amount, when you talk about amount, amount means the weight. So, weight is given here in the value of referred to as picogram. Picogram. It is being referred to as picogram. This is the weight, and weight is being measured in terms of picogram. This is picogram. Okay. The value ranges from less than 10 raised to power 6 base pair to more than 10 raised to power 11 base pair in amphibians. In lower eukaryotic organisms like yeast, amount of DNA increases with increasing complexity. जैसे जैसे ऑर्गेनिज्म की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ती है, वैसे वैसे अमाउंट ऑफ जेनेटिक मटेरियल भी बढ़ता चला जाता है. सो इन लोअर यूकैरियोट्स, you know this, that the amount of genetic material is directly proportional to the complexity of an organism. Okay, so as the complexity is going to increase, the amount of genetic material is also going to increase. You just look at the Pathfinder, a graph is being shown there that clearly indicates that as the amount of DNA increases, so the complexity of the organism also is going to increase in lower eukaryotes. But what happens in the case of amphibians? There is a class of organisms that have the highest amount of heterochromatin region present within itself. एक जेनेटिक मटेरियल है, एक ऑर्गेनिज्म है जिसके अंदर सबसे ज्यादा अमाउंट ऑफ जेनेटिक मटेरियल हेट्रोक्रोमेटिन की फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट होता है, and that is referred to as the amphibians. Amphibians has the largest amount of heterochromatin as the genetic material. Amphibians have very large amount of have very large amount of heterochromatin of heterochromatin present within itself present within itself. Okay, so amphibians have very large amount of heterochromatin region present within itself. Why they have the largest amount of heterochromatin region? Can you answer why? Because they are amphibians. Amphibians means something which is amphibious. Amphibians का मतलब ही ये होता है कोई चीज जो amphibious हो. Amphibians have large amount of heterochromatin present within itself. This is due to the fact that they contain the genetic material of all the aquatic species as well as the terrestrial organisms. Amphibians so amphibious hai na, they are amphibious in nature, so they can survive over the land and they can survive in water also. As amphibians are amphibious, as are amphibious are amphibious so have the ability so have the ability to survive over land as well as in water, as well as in aquatic environment, so possess so have the highest amount of heterochromatin so have the highest amount of heterochromatin the highest amount of heterochromatin in themselves, in their genome. This question was being asked, so you must know the exact answer of this particular question. Okay, now see, that is why there is no correlation between increased genome size and complexity in the case of higher eukaryotes. And this lack of complexity, this lack of correlation is referred to as the C value paradox, because there is no correlation between the complexity of the organism and the amount of genetic material present within itself. That is why this phenomena is commonly referred to as C value paradox in nature. Okay, इसीलिए इसे C value paradox कहा गया है. Okay, now next point that we are going to talk about is like this. So I'm just putting a mark here. However, in case of higher eukaryote, there is no complex correlation between increased genomic size and complexity, and this phenomena is commonly referred to as the C value paradox. इसी phenomena को हम क्या कह देते हैं? इसी phenomena को हम कह देते हैं C value paradox. Any doubt about C value paradox? Anybody wants to ask anything? You can ask. Ankit, Hiba, Trishla, anyone? So is this clear? C value paradox is clear. Now this is a very important point. You must know about this particular point. This is referred to as C value paradox. No doubt, clear. Okay. Try to answer the queries, Ankit. Okay. You have noted this particular point. I should rub this out and now move towards renaturation rate and DNA sequencing. Sequence complexity. Now, what do you mean by renaturation rate? Renaturation rate and DNA sequence complexity. Now, we will have to compare about the DNA sequences to DNA sequences to determine whether the DNA sequence is complex or whether the DNA sequence is simple. अभी हमें क्या करना है? Now we will have to determine if the DNA sequence that is present in an organism is complex or it is a simple DNA sequence which is present in that organism. To understand the concept of complexity in the case of DNA sequences, we must understand the following things. we must understand what is this chord curve analysis and how chord curve analysis is being done. So we must view here what is chord curve analysis. So just removing all the things, okay, clearing all the drawings, moving forward. Now we are moving towards the renaturation rate and the renaturation kinetics. You can look here. This C value paradox example is Homo sapiens. Now Homo sapiens has a greater genomic size, but our DNA is said to be much more simple as compared to that of the yeast. Yeast has a small genomic size, but its DNA is much more complex as that of the humans. Humans से ज़्यादा complex DNA होता है yeast का. Renaturation rate and DNA sequences complexity. Now we are going to talk about the renaturation rate. What is this rate of renaturation? And what do you mean by DNA sequence complexity? Renaturation rate and DNA sequence complexity. Now, firstly, we must understand actually what is this renaturation and what they are going to talk about. We must know that how the DNA is going to be compared, whether the DNA is going to be complex or the DNA is going to be simple. There are two things. A DNA can be either complex or the DNA can be either simple. या तो DNA भाई complex हो सकता है. DNA molecule either can be a complex or it could be simple. Okay. So there are two different types of DNA molecules that can exist, complex or simple. A simple DNA molecule is the one that consists of repetitive DNA sequences. Now, simple DNA sequence is the one that consists of repetitive DNA sequences. Repetitive, repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, that is referred to as simple DNA sequences. Repetitive DNA sequences. When you talk about the complex DNA sequences are the one that are made up of non-repetitive DNA sequences. Non-repetitive DNA sequences. Repetitive DNA constitute the complex DNA sequences. जो non repetitive है, one which cannot be repeated is referred to as complex, and one which is being repeated is referred to as simple DNA sequences. So genome complexity is the total length of different sequences of DNA which are present. You know that the bacteriophage T4 DNA contains 2 into 10 to the power 5 nucleotide base pair, whereas Escherichia coli contain 4.64 into 10 to the power 6 number of base pair. You can just look here that T4 is containing 2 into 10 to the power 5 number of nucleotide base pair. Okay. Escherichia coli contain 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair. This means the E. coli contain larger DNA as compared to the T4 phage. It's very obvious that the DNA in the case of the bacterium is much more larger as compared to the phage. E. coli DNA is considerably more complex in that it codes for more information. Okay. So you can say that E. coli DNA is much more complex because it has much more amount of DNA present within itself. Okay. Now, but more dissimilar from other is than those in an equal weight of the T4 phage. Genome complexity can be measured through the renaturation kinetics of the DNA, denatured DNA. Now you can measure the genome complexity through the renaturation kinetics of the denatured DNA. That how the renaturation of the denatured DNA is going to take place. That is how we can measure the renaturation kinetics. हम रीनेचुरेशन काइनेटिक्स को मेजर कर सकते हैं डीएनए कितनी देर में रीनेचर हो जाता है. Now, genome complexity can be measured by renaturation kinetics, but we must understand actually what is this renaturation kinetics? What is this word? Renaturation kinetics, and how this renaturation kinetics can be used to elaborate or illustrate that the DNA is complex or simple. अब भाई DNA simple है या complex है, ये renaturation kinetics से कैसे पता चलेगा? How it is possible? Now, to understand this particular point, you must pay attention over the diagram which I am telling you. You know that a simple DNA is the one which contains repetitive DNA sequences. The complex DNA is the one which contain unique DNA sequences or non-repetitive DNA sequences. So in this particular case, to determine the genome complexity, you just have to take a double stranded DNA molecule. Okay, let this be a double stranded DNA molecule. चलिए ये हो गया आपका double stranded DNA molecule. Let this be a dsDNA. Let this be a dsDNA molecule. Okay. Now, when there is a dsDNA molecule that is present here, now this dsDNA molecule is going to be heated. When this dsDNA molecule will undergo shear degradation, okay, this dsDNA is going to undergo shear degradation. Okay, shear degradation means it would be fragmented into pieces. इस डीएनए को लिया, इसको हमने फ्रेगमेंट कर दिया. This DNA will be fragmented into very small pieces on the basis of shear degradation. How? Look here. This is what is going to happen. The DNA is going undergoing shear degradation. Okay. This is what is going to happen. First, the DNA will be made to undergo shear degradation, then denatured. Shear degradation now means that this DNA will be fragmented into pieces. Okay. Now the DNA is going to be fragmented into pieces. So these are the pieces of DNA that are going to be obtained. Okay. Different pieces of or different segments of the DNA are going to be obtained. These are the different segments of the DNA. These are the different segments of the DNA that are going to be obtained. Now, these are the segments of the DNA that are going to be obtained. As these are the segments of the DNA that are going to be obtained, these segments could be effectively denatured. Okay, this is double stranded DNA. This is DNA that has been shear degraded. DNA that underwent shear degradation. Degradation. When it underwent shear degradation, now it is going to be denatured. Denatured. Now it is being denatured. Denatured means that it would be melted. It would be melted and then allowed to reanneal. Shivani, this time you are late. I'm sorry to say that. Now see, I would be repeating certain sections. No problem with that. Okay. Just try to unmute yourself. Okay. Thank you. Huh. So what we are going to talk about here is that here what we are talking is firstly you have taken a DNA molecule. You have taken a double stranded DNA molecule. You have cleaved the DNA molecule. And then as you have cleaved the DNA molecule with the help of restriction endonuclease, and then the fragments of the DNA have been obtained. Now DNA underwent shear degradation. Now the DNA is going to underwent shear degradation. That means DNA has been fragmented. And the next step that we are going to talk about is how this DNA molecule will be made to denature. Okay, this DNA will be made to denatured. Denatured means there will be separations, okay, that would be taking place. Double stranded DNA getting separated into single stranded DNA molecules. And last step, allowed to reanneal. Allowed to reanneal. Allowed to reanneal. Now, in the case of reannealing, again the complementary strands will bind together with each other, will try to bind together with each other, and this phenomena is referred to as reannealing. This phenomena is referred to as re-annealing. Now, how this re-annealing is going to take place, that we are going to visualize. किस तरीके से re-annealing होता है ये हम लोग देखने वाले. So, the time period for this re-annealing would be noted down. This is the most important thing. The time period. The time period. Look here. This is the most important thing. The time period of the re-annealing will decide whether the initial double stranded DNA which was being taken was simple or complex. So if the DNA was simple or the DNA was complex. Simple or the DNA was complex. Okay. So whether the dsDNA was simple or complex is it is being determined by the time of renaturation. Okay. So the renaturation kinetics refers to the mechanism by which you can assess whether the double-stranded DNA which is undergoing shear degradation is a complex DNA molecule or a simpler DNA molecule. DNA molecule जिसका shear degradation हो रहा है, वो DNA molecule complex है या वो DNA molecule simple है? How to determine? We have to determine by the allowing the denatured DNA to re-anneal itself. So what is a Cott curve? A Cott curve is a graph which is being made in between the concentration of single stranded DNA at time t with respect to time is referred to as Cott curve. Let us make a graph. Cott curve could be defined as, let us make a graph in which a double stranded DNA will underwent shear degradation, fragmented into pieces, denatured, and then allowed to renature. The time of renaturation will be able to predict about the complexity of an organism. Such a graph is called as Cott curve. हिंदी में समझे, चलो एक ग्राफ बनाएं जिसमें हम डबल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए को shear degradation कर दें. It is denatured into pieces and allowed to reanneal. The time of renaturation or reannealing is referred to as the Cott curve, which will indicate whether the organism is complex or the organism is simple. The time of renaturation is going to predict the complexity of that organism. Is this clear to you or not? If not, please look here. I'm trying to explain the same to you. Genome complexity can be measured through the renaturation kinetics of denatured DNA. See, renaturation kinetics means this: when the DNA will be allowed to renature, then the kinetics is referred to as renaturation kinetics of a double-stranded DNA molecule. Renaturation of DNA occurs through complementary base pairing. Now, renaturation occurs through complementary base pairing. When both the DNA strands are going to base pair, then it is referred to as renaturation. In the above example, it will take the E. coli DNA strands longer to find their complementary partner and reanneal. This situation can be analyzed quantitatively. Now see, if you take a human DNA here and repeat the experiment, and then in the second case you take an E. coli DNA, which DNA will take much more time to reanneal? अगर एक बार आपने ह्यूमन का डीएनए ले लिया और अगली बार आपने इकोलाई का डीएनए ले लिया, तो किसका डीएनए ज्यादा टाइम लेगा रीनेचुरेशन में? Which DNA will take much more time to renature? Okay, to reanneal. Which DNA is going to take time? Sir, which molecular technique can be used for renaturation kinetics? Renaturation kinetics, the technique is referred to as Cott curve. This is what I am trying to explain it to you. E. coli will reanneal faster or slower? E. coli will reanneal faster or slower? E. coli is going to reanneal much more slower as compared to the human DNA. Why? Because E. coli has unique DNA sequences. देखिए, समझिए. Now, the technique which is used to analyze the renaturation kinetics is commonly referred to as the Cott curve. Okay, Trishlam. Now, to make this Cott curve, what we have to do is we have to take a double-stranded DNA molecule. You have to fragment this double-stranded DNA molecule because this has to underwent shear degradation. After shear degradation, it has to be denatured. Denatured means it has to be converted into fragments. And then it is being allowed to reanneal. Allowed to reanneal means that the single strand could bind to its complementary strand. This single strand will be able to bind to its complementary strand. Similarly, the other single stranded DNA will be able to bind to its complementary strand of DNA. Now, if supposingly the entire DNA is unique, अगर मान लीजिए पूरा DNA यूनिक है E. coli की तरह, तो ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा बेटा बाइंडिंग में. Much more time. If the entire DNA is unique, much more amount of time will be required to find the complementary partners, and thus the time required will be greater in the case of a complex genome such as that of E. coli. Human genome is simple as compared to E. coli. Human genome, human DNA will take less time, will take less time to reanneal. Human DNA will take less time to reanneal because it has high amount of repetitive DNA sequences. It has high amount of repetitive DNA sequences. क्योंकि ह्यूमन डीएनए में हाई अमाउंट ऑफ रिपीटेटिव डीएनए सीक्वेंसेस प्रेजेंट होते हैं. Okay, that is why our DNA is simple. Okay, less time, hence the DNA said to be simple DNA. E. coli DNA do not contain any repetitive DNA sequences, so its DNA will be called as complex. E. coli DNA is unique. Sorry, E. coli DNA is unique, so will take more time. More time. Hence, said to be complex. तो इसे हम क्या बोल देंगे? इसे हम बोलेंगे कॉम्प्लेक्स डीएनए. ओके, नाउ इज दिस क्लियर टू यू और नॉट? पहले तो ये बताइए ये क्लियर है कि नहीं है. भाई ह्यूमंस के अंदर बहुत सारा 80 रिपीट्स होता है. ह्यूमन कंटेन लार्ज नंबर ऑफ 80 रिच रिपीट्स, as human contain very large number of 80 rich repeats. So that is why our DNA is much more simpler as compared to the DNA of the E. coli, which is considered to be much more complex. Any doubt? Any problem? Anyone has any doubt or any problem? You just ask. Ankit, Heba, Shivani Chitkara, Trishla, I have allowed you to unmute yourself. You can ask me. Shivani.
हेलो सर, त्रिशला दिस साइड.
Yes, Trishla.
सर, जो मॉलिक्यूलर टेक्निक कॉट कर्व है उसको हम यूज़ करते हैं रीनेचुरेशन काइनेटिक्स के लिए, तो उसमें जो डेटा जनरेट होगा वो सर कैसे मिलेगा? उसका सॉफ्टवेयर कौन सा होता है?
That would be applicable. I'm just showing it to you in the here. A graph will be obtained, so I'm showing it to you. No problem. See,
ओके.
actually, this is being analyzed by taking the absorption at 260 nanometer. Absorption at 260 nanometer. Okay, so absorption at 260 nanometer will indicate whether the DNA is single stranded or whether the DNA is double stranded. So that would be plotted cot half and t half will be plotted, time will be plotted, and there you are going to get the ratios. Shivani, you are not answering
ओके.
me anything. Shivani, are you there in the class? Any doubt you have, you just make it clear. I didn't get anything. Why you guys are not talking? Shivani, yes sir, clear hai. Okay, good. So this is clear. Anyone has any doubt? Hey, if you have any doubt, you just ask me. Else, this will create a chaos. Now see this. Now see, if C is the concentration of a single stranded DNA at time t, the reaction is going to follow the second order rate kinetics. When you look at the second order rate kinetics, this will give the following equation: minus dc by dt equals to kc square. So this is the equation that you are going to obtain. The equation that you are going to obtain is minus dc by dt equals to kc square. The decrease in the concentration of single stranded DNA with respect to time is directly proportional to the concentration of the single stranded DNA molecule. आप ये बोल सकते हैं decrease in the concentration of a single stranded molecule, DNA molecule, with respect to time is directly proportional to the square of the concentration of single stranded DNA. C is the concentration of single stranded DNA. Hence, what you can do is you just put here, because there is a decrease sign now, so you just put a negative here, minus dc by dt is equivalent to kc square. kc square ये हो गया, ये हो जाएगा kc square minus dc by dt is equals to kc square, and this would be minus dc by dt equals to kc square. This is the equation that you have obtained. ये आ गई आपकी equation. कोई doubt है, कोई problem है? This is the equation that you are going to obtain. Why this equation is being obtained? Because decrease in the concentration of single stranded DNA with respect to time is directly proportional to the concentration of the single stranded DNA at that point. कितनी तेजी से single stranded DNA decrease होगा? The fall in the concentration of single stranded DNA will depend upon the concentration of single stranded DNA raised to the power of 2. Okay, so this is the equation that you are going to obtain. Minus dc by dt equals to kc square. Anyone has any doubt, you can note down the things along with me, or after the class also you can note it down. Okay, now moving forward, I should rub this out. Okay, so Shivani, because you have joined a bit late, so see, renaturation kinetics or DNA sequencing complexity. DNA can be a complex DNA, DNA can be a simple DNA. Simple DNA consists of repetitive DNA sequences. Complex DNA which is present is comprises of non-repetitive DNA sequences which are present. So this is how these are being made. Okay, now the next point that we are going to talk about is about the renaturation kinetics. Okay, so just deleting all these annotations and moving forward. Now see, this is a second order rate equation that you have gotten. Now just integrate the second order rate equation. For the integration, what we have to take is, we will have to set up the limits. Okay, you just take the limits. B, just integrating on both the sides, use the term integration. इंटीग्रेशन, ड्यूरिंग इंटीग्रेशन द कांस्टेंट इज ऑलवेज केप्ट आउटसाइड. इंटीग्रेशन के दौरान कांस्टेंट को हमेशा बाहर रखा जाता है. द कांस्टेंट इज ऑलवेज टेकन आउटसाइड. एवरी नेगेटिव और अ पॉजिटिव साइन इज ऑलवेज टेकन आउटसाइड. नाउ यू जस्ट इंटीग्रेटेड एज c to c naught. C naught is the referred to as the initial concentration of the single stranded DNA. This is c naught. And just a second, here we are going to talk about time. So when you are going to talk about time, then the time would be from the t naught, from the initial time to t. Okay, from the c naught to the final concentration of the DNA, that is referred to as c. Okay, so there the equation can be integrated. When you are going to integrate the equation, you will get the following equation, that is c by c naught equals to 1 divided by 1 plus kc naught t. This is the equation that you are going to get. C by c naught is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus kc naught t. ये इक्वेशन मिल जाएगा आपको, 1 divided by 1 plus kc naught t. 1 divided by 1 plus kc naught t. This is the equation that you are going to obtain. Okay, now see what is going to happen in the half reaction that is going to take place when half of the DNA is going to be renatured. Then the value of c by c naught will become equivalent to half. जब आधा DNA renature हो जाएगा, when half of the DNA will get renatured, then this value will become equal to half. When half of the DNA is renatured, when half of the DNA, half of the DNA gets renatured, hence what you obtain is half is equals to 1 divided by 1 plus k c naught t half. Okay, now you just multiply it out here. So what you are going to get is 1 plus k c naught t half is equal to 2. Okay, that means k cot half will be equivalent to 1, because 2 minus 1 will be equal to 1. That means cot will be equal to cot half will be equal to 1 upon k. This is the other assumption that you are going to obtain. ये वो दूसरा एजम्पशन है जो आप यहाँ पर ऑब्टेन करने वाले हो. सो सी दिस इज द हाफ टाइम पीरियड. The concentration of DNA at half-time period is inversely proportional to the proportionality constant, that is the rate constant of the second order reaction. K was the rate constant of the second order reaction. देखो यहाँ पर लिखा है ना, what is K? K is the rate constant of the second order reaction. So there the equation that you are going to obtain is C cot half is equals to 1 upon K. C here refers to as the concentration, that is moles of nucleotide per liter, and T is referred to as the time. C is referred to as the concentration, that is given in moles of nucleotide per liter of DNA, and T is referred to as the time, and the time which is being provided is in seconds. Time जो यहाँ पर provide किया गया है वो seconds में provide किया गया है. Okay, next, look here. This is cot half equals to 1 upon K. This is the derivation that I was solving in front of you. Okay, that this derivation has also been solved here. I would be sharing this PDF as well as this thing in Microsoft Word along with you, and we can incorporate all the suggestions also. Okay, now moving forward, just deleting this out. Anyone has any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? So this would be the formula that would be used in order to solve the equation. Now Trishla, you might be thinking, sir, how to solve this out? This will be solved with the help of a graph that would be referred to as cot curve. Now this could be solved with the help of a graph which is referred to as cot curve. Cot curve is also given in your book. Please kindly open your book and just look at the figure which is being given just below it. There you are going to get the image for the cot curve, or I will use the internet to obtain the cot curve. Okay, so here it is. This is a very interesting question that was being asked. I'm just sharing the screen with you all. Okay, now moving to the next screen of the cot curve, for the cot curve. Now see, please do not look here and there. Look at this particular question which is being provided here. Uh, am I able to share the screen with you? Are you able to visualize the screen? Okay, you look here. You just look here. Okay. Hello. Yes. Now see this. There you can find there is an E. coli DNA and there is a calf DNA that you are going to find. Then the E. coli DNA is following a curve which the calf DNA is following a curve which is much more steeper as compared to the E. coli DNA. Calf DNA बहुत तेजी से नीचे आ रहा है, E. coli as compared to the E. coli DNA. Then what you are going to find is that intermediate repeat DNA sequence is present in calf and unique DNA sequence is present in E. coli. The one which has an intermediate, which has a repeat DNA sequence, will come down. Okay. And the one which has a complex DNA sequence will always remains above. Okay. Here you find out that the repeated DNA sequences are present here in the case of E. coli, and here unique DNA sequences are present in the case of calf. Okay, the more unique DNA sequences, the more time it will take. This area takes more time for E. coli and this area takes more time for calf. Okay, now please look here. See this. This is being shown. Application of cot curve analysis. You can understand here in this particular graph. This is our repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, highly repetitive DNA sequences taking less time. Middle, repetitive DNA sequences taking more time. Single copy DNA sequencing taking the most time. सबसे ज्यादा टाइम लगता है सिंगल कॉपी को रीनेचर होने में, यानी कि यूनिक डीएनए सीक्वेंसेस को सबसे ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा. यूनिक डीएनए सीक्वेंसेस टेक्स द मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम इन ऑर्डर to be properly aligned and to renature together with each other as compared to highly repetitive DNA sequences. Any doubt, any problem that you have, you can ask me. Okay, you just look here. The value of cot. What is the value of cot? How to calculate the value of cot? The value of cot is equivalent to the concentration of single stranded DNA molecule. You look here. The C naught, initial concentration of the single stranded DNA molecule. Now let us take this question. Let us take this question and try to understand. Please explain above graph once again. Yes, I will be explaining the above graph. In fact, you would be explaining the above graph to me. But firstly, let me look here. Okay. Now see this. Let me just look here into this particular question and try to solve this particular question for you all. Can I use the zoom function? Okay, this would be much more better for you to understand. Please consider yourself on this particular part of the screen only. How to calculate the COT value? There is a value which is being given to you in the form of a particular graph. Now, when this value is given to you in the form of a particular graph, then what you have to calculate is nucleotide concentration is given. This is the initial nucleotide concentration. Okay, it is the initial or the first nucleotide concentration which is provided to you. Okay, so this is nucleotide concentration. Renaturation time for renaturation of the DNA is provided 344 seconds. Buffer system, buffer factor is 5.820, and COT value. Now, how to calculate the COT value? The COT value is being calculated as the multiplication of the three values. Concentration of single stranded DNA with respect to time is referred to as COT value. What is the concentration of single stranded DNA? The concentration of single stranded DNA is 0.050. You can look here. This is the concentration of single stranded DNA. This is the renaturation time. The renaturation time being 344 seconds. Okay, and the buffering factor. Now this buffering factor is sometimes being given in the question, sometimes it is not given. So it is not a mandatory that you would be using buffer. देखो कभी कभी आप experiment में buffer use करते हो so as to prevent any change in the pH, so that the pH of the solution can be maintained, but it is not necessarily needed that you will be using buffer every time. So what you are using in this particular question is a buffer. Buffering factor is being given. Because buffering factor is being given in molarity, you have used this particular buffering factor. Okay, and then COT values is being calculated. That is equal to 100. Okay, application of COT curve. Now see this. The single stranded DNA has become 100% saturated at a time period that is referred to as 344 seconds. इतने सेकंड में पूरा सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए क्या हो गया, 100% रीनेचर हो गया. देखो ये जो कॉट का वैल्यू है, कॉट का वैल्यू कहां लिखा हुआ है? सी दिस इज द वैल्यू दैट इज बीइंग रिटन हियर, log of cot 100. Okay, and here single strand concentration of single stranded DNA is given. Now Trishla and others, please look forward. What will happen to the concentration of single stranded DNA? We always know that the concentration of single stranded DNA will fall with increase in the time. जैसे जैसे समय बढ़ेगा, concentration single stranded DNA की समय के साथ में कम होती चली जाएगी. The concentration of the single stranded DNA will tend to decrease with respect to the increasing time. As the time is going to increase, the concentration of the single stranded DNA is going to be decreased. Okay, so here you can find this is a highly repetitive DNA sequences. As we move forward, the highly repetitive DNA sequences gets renatured, followed by middle repetitive DNA sequences, and the least repetitive DNA sequences, which will be present in the form of a unique copy, will be renatured at the last. और unique DNA sequences हमेशा last में renatured होंगे. Any doubt, any doubt, any problem? Any doubt, any problem? Now, Trishla, please open your mic if you have any doubt. Trishla, yes.
Hello.
Yes, Trishla,
Uh,
can you tell me which one of the DNA will renature firstly? Highly repetitive, middle repetitive, or single copy?
so highly repetitive.
Why? Because their complementary copies will be easily available. Are you able to understand
Yes.
that up? देखो,
Yes, sir.
because what is a COT curve? Now see, what is a COT curve? चलो एक ग्राफ बनाएं जिसमें हम DNA का कर देते हैं shear degradation. Let us make a graph in which we are going to shearly degrade the DNA molecule into pieces, and then this DNA which has been fragmented will be denatured and then allowed to renature. It has been denatured and then allowed to renature back. And the time period of this graph is being noted in order to determine whether it is simple or whether it is complex. Any doubt?
सर
Yes.
सर अगर सिंगल कॉपी का रीनेचुरेशन डिक्रीज होता जाएगा तो डबल स्टैंडर्ड का रीनेचुरेशन इंक्रीज हो जाएगा ना.
Single copy का renaturation decrease हो जाएगा. What you are saying? I'm saying this.
सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए का रीनेचुरेशन डिक्रीज होगा.
डीनेचुरेशन डिक्रीज होगा. ये क्या होता है डीनेचुरेशन डिक्रीज होगा? डीनेचुरेशन कंसंट्रेशन डिक्रीज होगी ना. दिस इज द कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए सी नॉट. Then when it will become equivalent to double stranded, then what is going to decrease? C naught is going to decrease. Concentration of the single stranded DNA is going to decrease, and the
ओके.
concentration of double stranded DNA is going to be increased.
यस सर, यही मैं पूछ रही थी.
हाँ, तो ये हो जाएगा ना. आप वैल्यू जो बोल रही
ओके.
थी वो बहुत अजीब बोल रही हो, आप कुछ गलत बोल रही हो. देखो, सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए का कंसंट्रेशन हमेशा कम हो जाएगा जब वो रीनेचर हो जाएगा. whenever renaturation takes place, the single stranded DNA is going to be renatured into double stranded DNA molecules. Anyone else? Anyone else has any question, any problem? I would be explaining the above graph also. Okay. So anyone else? Shivani, Hiba, Trishla. Trishla has just asked. Ankit. Ankit, are you able to understand? No. Please explain above graph. I have already explained. Hiba, no means you didn't want to ask or you didn't. You have not understood this particular point. Clear. Okay. Now see, you just look here in the above diagram, clearing all the drawings. Now moving to this particular diagram. Now look here, bacterial genome is 99.7% unique. Mouse has 60% unique plus 25% middle repetitive DNA and 10% highly repetitive DNA. So which of these sequence will be renatured first? Highly repetitive DNA will be renatured first as compared to which is going to be renatured first? This DNA. Highly repetitive DNA is going to be renatured first as compared to the second one would be middle repetitive DNA, and the third one will be the one that is present in the form of a single copy. This is how renaturation is going to take place. This would be the fastest of all. ये इससे तेज चलेगा और ये सबसे तेज चलेगा और बैक्टीरिया का सबसे स्लो चलेगा. That means bacteria will take much more longer time to renature. Okay. Now in this case, here, look here, this is our DNA segment that is being provided to you. You look at this particular condition. When you are going to look at this particular condition, what you are going to find here is that इसको अगर आप देखेंगे तो आपको क्या मिलेगा? You are able to find here that in this particular location you find that the E. coli DNA is complex, and in this particular region the calf DNA is much more complex. इस region में E. coli का DNA complex है, इस region में calf का DNA complex है. You'll look at the book Test and Evaluation, you will find a question of CSIR NET JRF entrance examination of the same type being asked there. ऐसा ही क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था सीएसआई नेट जेआरएफ एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन में, तो आपको उसे याद रखना है. ओके. I would be sending you that question. Try to attempt that particular question. Okay. Now, moving back to our topic. Where were we? We were at molecular biology. Okay. So we have moved back. Okay. Now see this. This is what I was trying to explain it to you. This is the equation that we have obtained. C by C naught equals to 1 divided by 1 plus K C naught T. Now, the time of half of the DNA to renature is referred to as T half. The time period in which half of the DNA is going to be renatured is referred to as T half. वो समय जिसमें आधा DNA renatured हो जाता है, that is referred to as T half. It is referred to as T half in nature. Now the next point that is present is cot half equals to 1 upon K. Now how to calculate the cot half? Now just put the value C by C naught equals to half in this particular equation. You will get a value of cot half equals to 1 upon K. A graph of a fragment of a single stranded DNA re-annealed as a function of cot on a semi-logarithmic plot is referred to as cot curve. देखिए ये definition अगर आप देख रहे हैं बहुत टफ लगेगी आपको, तो you can also write a definition. So let us make a graph in which the DNA is allowed to denature and then allowed to renature is referred to as renaturation kinetics. I'm going to write that definition for you also. Please note it down. Okay, I'm writing the other definition of the Kotkar for you all. Let us make a graph. Let us make a graph in which the dsDNA molecules are shear dsDNA molecules underwent shear degradation and then allowed to reanneal and then allowed to reanneal and then allowed to re a double n e a l and then allowed to reanneal on and then allowed to reanneal full stop. The time of renaturation is plotted with the concentration of the single stranded DNA. The time of renaturation is plotted with the concentration of single stranded DNA. Then the graph is referred to as is then the graph is referred to as Cot curve. Cot curve. Now see, why sir you have written a word logarithmic plot? The time of renaturation is plotted with the concentration of single stranded DNA. Then the graph is referred to as a Cot curve. Okay. Now this Cot is always being plotted on a semi-logarithmic plot. The time of renaturation is plotted with the concentration of single stranded DNA on a semi-logarithmic plot. On a semi-logarithmic plot. On a semi-logarithmic plot. Then the graph is referred to as a Cot curve. Then the graph which is being obtained is referred to as the Cot curve. तो देखिए अभी हमने क्या पढ़ा. Now when you are going to shear degrade the DNA molecule, then the degradation fragments will be present in millions. Now you cannot use a graph paper which will have millions of values. So that is why what you use is that at one side you take log and at another side you are not taking log. एक तरफ आप log ले लेते हो, यहाँ पर आप log ले लोगे, log cot, and the other side you are not taking log. See this, this is the place where you have taken a log. Okay, I've shared this animation, this thing with you now. You look here. Here you have taken cot. Okay, and you are here you have not taken cot. Why? Because you are going to calculate the concentration of single stranded DNA with respect to time. Now this value will go in millions, millions into even into 1 second or into 10 seconds. This will become 10 million, then 100 million, then 1000 millions. So how to make a graph of millions of values? Then you take a log and the values can be effectively plotted. देखो मिलियंस का ग्राफ नहीं बनाया जा सकता, इसलिए हम लॉग ले लेते हैं, तो उन वैल्यूज को हम इफेक्टिवली प्लॉट कर सकते हैं, इसीलिए लॉग लिया जाता है ऐसे केसेस में. Anyone has any doubt, you just ask me. Okay. Now, how to measure the rate of reassociation? The rate of reassociation can be measured through spectrophotometric analysis by the absorption of UV radiation. Now, there is this particular graph can be determined. The rate of renaturation or the rate of reassociation can be determined with the help of UV light absorption. Now, how the UV light absorption is going to take place? The UV light absorption is going to take place at 216 nanometer. So a Cot curve describes the sequential complexity of a DNA molecule. It describes the kinetics of reassociation and realleling of a sample of double-stranded DNA that has been fragmented into small pieces, denatured to single strand, and then permitted to reannul. So see, this could be the alternate definition जो मैंने यहाँ पर लिख दिया वो तो सही है ही, ये भी सही है. In this particular definition, what I have tried to tell you all is that Kotkar described the kinetics of reassociation or reannealing of a sample of double-stranded DNA that has been fragmented into small pieces. It has been denatured to single strands, and then these single strands are permitted to reanneal among themselves. In single strands को फिर permission दे दी गई है that they are being now allowed to reanneal, and this graph which is going to be obtained is referred to as the renaturation kinetics. इसी को हम क्या कह देते हैं? This is referred to as the renaturation kinetics in nature. Any doubt? Any problem? If you have any doubt, if you have any problem, you just ask me. Is this clear? Is this clear or not? Shivani, Trishla, Hiba, Ankit. Anyone has any doubt? भाई किसी को कोई डाउट है इसके अंदर? Yes sir, clear. Okay, thank you. No problem. So now we are going to talk about the next type of DNA sequences that are present in our genome is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. The DNA sequences in our genome which are present in more than one copy within the genome is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. Now, first is referred to as simple DNA sequences. Simple DNA sequences are present in only a single copy per genome, and repetitive DNA sequences are present in more than one copy within the genome. Then it is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. जो एक ही कॉपी में होते हैं वो सिंपल डीएनए सीक्वेंसेस हैं. जो एक से ज्यादा कॉपी में होते हैं then it is referred to as the repetitive DNA sequences in nature. Okay, then it is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. Any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? You can ask me. Okay. The repetitive kinetics shows that eukaryotic genome is made up of two different types of sequences. One is non-repetitive DNA sequences, which is referred to as unique DNA sequences, which is present in single copy within the genome. And another type of DNA sequences which are present is referred to as the repetitive DNA sequences. These repetitive DNA sequences are the one which are present in more than one copy per haploid genome. These are present in more than one copy per haploid genome, then it is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, next. Repetitive sequences shows more rapid rate of renaturation than the non-repetitive DNA sequences. Repetitive DNA sequences may remain dispersed or randomly repeated, and its proportion in the eukaryotic genome is also highly variable. Our eukaryotic genome is made up of more than 70% of repetitive DNA sequences. हमारे जीनोम में लगभग 70% क्या होते हैं? Repetitive DNA sequences. More than 70% of our genome is made up of more than 70% of our genome. 70% of our genome is made up of repetitive DNA sequences. Okay. Now, repetitive DNA sequences can be of two different types: moderately repetitive DNA sequences, highly repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, so here we have classified the repetitive DNA sequences in the following manner. I'm using a whiteboard for the same. So see this repetitive DNA sequences. When you talk about DNA sequences within our genome, okay, so DNA sequences can be classified like this. DNA sequences can be classified as unique DNA sequences and repetitive DNA sequences. DNA sequences को हम कैसे classify कर सकते हैं? Unique DNA sequences, there can be a unique DNA sequences, and there can be a repetitive DNA sequences that might be present. Now, when you talk about unique DNA sequences, then unique DNA sequences which are present in the genome are present in one copy. Unique DNA sequences, these are present in only one copy within the genome, then it is referred to as unique DNA sequences. Repetitive DNA sequences, repetitive DNA sequences, DNA sequences are present in more than one copy within the genome, then it is referred to as repetitive DNA sequences. Now, moving forward, this unique DNA sequences are present in the euchromatin region. Chromatin region. It is the one that is going to encode for genes. Okay, it is the one that is going to encode for genes. encodes for genes. That means it will lead to that. It could be transcribed and translated, transcribed and even translated. Okay. Now, when you talk about the repetitive DNA sequences, now the repetitive DNA sequences can be classified into the following three different types. One, it could be moderately repetitive DNA sequences, or another, it could be highly repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, moderately repetitive DNA sequences and highly repetitive DNA sequences. I'm just going to write about both of these things. Moderately repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, so the next one would be moderately repetitive DNA sequences. Moderately repetitive DNA sequences. Repetitive DNA sequences. Okay. So these DNA sequences, which are called as moderately repetitive DNA sequences, are also referred to as transposons. They are transposons. And another one is referred to as highly repetitive DNA sequences. Now, what do you mean by highly repetitive DNA sequences? Highly repetitive DNA sequences means these are highly repetitive in nature. Repetitive DNA sequences. These are highly repetitive in nature. Then they are said to be highly repetitive DNA sequences. This highly repetitive DNA sequences can further be classified into the following two different types. Highly repetitive DNA sequences can be classified into mini satellite as well as micro satellites in nature. Okay, so these are of two different types. One is referred to as the mini satellite, another one is referred to as the micro satellite. Mini satellite, another one is referred to as micro satellite. ये हो जाता है mini satellite and micro satellite. Now, both the satellite DNA can be effectively separated from each other with the help of a tool that is referred to as cesium chloride density gradient ultracentrifugation. Cesium chloride density gradient ultracentrifugation. Ultracentrifugation. Centrifugation is a method where you can separate both mini satellite and micro satellite from each other. आप दोनों सैटेलाइट को, मिनी सैटेलाइट को और माइक्रो सैटेलाइट को आपस में एक दूसरे से कैसे सेपरेट कर सकते हो? यू कैन सेपरेट मिनी सैटेलाइट एंड माइक्रो सैटेलाइट फ्रॉम ईच अदर विद द हेल्प ऑफ cesium chloride density gradient ultracentrifugation. The cesium chloride density gradient ultracentrifugation will be able to separate the satellite DNA molecule from the bulk of the genomic DNA by forming a different bands within the cesium chloride density gradient ultracentrifugation tube. Now, where would be the two bands produced? You always know that the bulk of the genomic DNA is going to be arised on a single major band. The side band, which is of a density of 1.60 1.069 grams per centimeter cube, is referred to as the mini satellite and micro satellite. Now, both mini satellite and micro satellite will differ from each other on the basis of the length of the repeating subunit. Micro satellites have further shorter repeat sequences, whereas the sequences of the mini satellite can be up till 20 to 25 base pair long. Okay. Then you talk about another class of elements that are present in our genome, that is referred to as transposons. And to your surprise, I would like to inform you up that transposons makes up approximately 50 to 60% of our genome. That means 60%, 50 to 60% is just made up of transposons. Okay. And this unique DNA sequence will be making just less than 1.5% of our genome. Less than 1.5% of our genome is made up of unique DNA sequences. Okay. Now, moderately repetitive DNA sequences can further be divided into simple transposons and then retrotransposons. They could be divided into transposons, posons, and into retrotransposons. Retrotransposons. This is how the classification can be done. Okay, so this is a basic classification. Sorry, this is a basic classification that could be done. Okay, now moving back to the Pathfinder and to the screen that I have already shown it to you. In that screen, I was telling you about the sequences. See this, highly repetitive DNA sequences consist of very short repetitive DNA sequences, and these are referred to as simple sequence DNA, also referred to as satellite DNA. They are referred to as satellite DNA because when these simple sequence DNA has to be separated, then what is being done? जब आपको simple sequence DNA को separate करना है तो आप क्या करेंगे? In such cases, simple sequence DNA can often be separated from bulk of the chromosomal DNA. Simple sequence DNA can be separated from the bulk of the chromosomal DNA by shear degradation followed by density gradient ultracentrifugation in cesium chloride. When you are going to perform the density gradient ultracentrifugation in cesium chloride, then you are going to obtain the different bands, and those bands are being obtained because of difference in the density of the DNA molecule. The density of the DNA molecule is given by the formula 1.66 plus 0.098 xg plus c. This is the formula for calculating the density. As in the case of mini satellite and micro satellite, they are AT rich regions. Mini satellite or micro satellite AT rich regions hote hain, so they have a phenomenal density difference as compared to the density of the main nuclear DNA. So what is being found here is that satellite DNA is often found at the centromere and telomeric region of the chromosome. One type of human satellite is referred to as the alphoid DNA, and this alphoid DNA is present at the centromeric region of the chromosome. So see this, this is the main band that is going to be obtained. The main band is going to be obtained at 1.701 in the case of mouse DNA. The side band is obtained at 1.690, whereas in the case of humans there are three bands that are going to be obtained instead of two. Written in Pathfinder, just go through it. There, the regions that are written is main band is along here only 1.701. Then there is a band 1.699. Another one is at 1.682. There, those are the three bands that are being obtained, and those two bands which are different from the main band indicates the presence of mini satellite and micro satellite. मेन बैंड के अलावा जो बैंड आते हैं यहाँ पर बोयंसी डेंसिटी के साथ में ग्राफ बनाने पे, वो बैंड्स दोनों बताते हैं सैटेलाइट डीएनए को. एनी डाउट? एंड सैटेलाइट डीएनए मींस मिनी सैटेलाइट एज वेल एज माइक्रो सैटेलाइट. So mouse DNA is separated into the main band and the satellite by centrifugation through a density gradient ultracentrifugation. This diagram is taken from Levin. Now, mini satellite and micro satellite. What do you mean by mini satellite and what do you mean by micro satellite? Just differentiating between the mini and micro satellite. As I have already told you, mini satellite, firstly, both of these are referred to as satellite DNA. You must have heard about a technique that is referred to as DNA fingerprinting. In the DNA fingerprinting, mini satellites are being used because they are highly variable in their number as well as the length of the simple sequence repeat that is present within themselves. There, in the case of DNA fingerprinting, these are often referred to as VNTR. इन्हीं को बोलते थे वेरिएबल नंबर टेंडम रिपीट्स इन द केस ऑफ डीएनए फिंगरप्रिंटिंग. ओके, ना जस्ट डिफरेंशिएट इन बिटवीन बोथ ऑफ दीज. इन दोनों के बीच में हम लोग डिफरेंशिएट कर लेते हैं. लेट अस डिफरेंशिएट इन बिटवीन बोथ ऑफ दीज. Okay, mini satellite and micro satellite can be differentiated as mini satellite forms a cluster of approximately 20 kilo base pair in length with repeat unit approximately 25 base pair. Micro satellite forms a very shorter cluster, usually less than 150 base pair, and the repeat unit is also very less, that is 13 base pair or even less. The typical microsatellite consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 base pair unit that are repeated in 10 to 20 number of times. Telomeric DNA, which is present in human, consists of hundreds of copy of repeat TTA GGG is an example of mini satellite. देखिए, अगर हमें मिनी सैटेलाइट को समझना है, तो मिनी सैटेलाइट will form a cluster of 20 kilo base pair. The repeating unit in the case of mini satellite is approximately 25 base pair. The repeating unit of the mini satellite is approximately equivalent to 25 base pair or less. Microsatellite have further smaller units or further very small fragments of repeats that are present less than 150 base pair. That means it is much more lesser, it is much more lesser than the 25 base pair. You know that mini satellite, even the telomeric DNA is a mini satellite. So anything below the 7 number of nucleotide, that is 1 2 3 4 or 5 nucleotide, is referred to as a typical माइक्रो सैटेलाइट. माइक्रो सैटेलाइट के अंदर डीएनए का लेंथ 4-5 बेस पेयर से ज्यादा का नहीं होता. अगर 7 बेस पेयर का है या 7 बेस पेयर से ऊपर का है, देन इट इज रेफर टू एज मिनी सैटेलाइट. Micro satellite is always less than or equivalent to 5 base pairs. Any doubt that you have, you can ask me. Any doubt that you have, you can ask me. Okay, now moving forward to solve a question of the previous year that has already been asked. Okay, deleting all the annotations. Okay, moving forward, we are just going to study about the question, and you just try to answer this out. Okay, without looking at the answer. Now see, repetitive DNA sequences are first identified by studies of rate of renaturation, DNA renaturation. What is the relative rate of renaturation as expected for a sequence which is repeated 1,000 times in the genome? देखिए, in this particular question, what is being asked, there is a sequence that is repeated 1,000 times. Okay, when you are going to talk about a sequence that is going to be repeated 1,000 times, then what would be the rate of renaturation for a sequence that is repeated 1,000 times in the genome? How to calculate? I have already told you about a formula. The rate of renaturation can be calculated by using the formulae. What is the formula that I have told it to you? Rate of renaturation, rate of renaturation is directly proportional to concentration of single stranded DNA. Concentration of single stranded DNA square. This is the concentration of single stranded DNA, and you put a square there. This is how rate of renaturation is going to be calculated. Now, rate of renaturation, when a sequence is repeated 10,000 times, then this rate of renaturation becomes equivalent to 1,000 times repeated and its square. So this will be equal to 10 raised to power 6. So the rate of renaturation becomes equivalent to 10 raised to power 6. See this? Why I have put this particular one as concentration of single stranded DNA square? Because I have already told you rate of renaturation, that is minus dc by dt equals to kc square. This is the formula that you have seen in the case of Cott curve. Minus dc by dt. Decrease in the concentration of single stranded DNA with respect to time is directly proportional to concentration of the single stranded DNA ka square. Okay, so this could be written as, hence, this could be written as minus dc by dt equals to kc square. Why you have written k here? Because when the proportionality sign is going to be removed, then you are going to add a value that is equivalent to k. So this is the equation that you are going to obtain. Minus dc by dt equals to kc square. Okay, so the rate of renaturation is being given here as this. Any doubt? Any doubt? Any problem? Okay, now look at the solution that has also been provided. It is the same. See this? The sequence which is repeated 1,000 times in the genome will therefore be renatured at a rate of 10 raised to power 6 fold greater than that of the single stranded copy of the DNA molecule. Okay, is this done? Please solve all the questions of Cott curve, all the questions of renaturation analysis from the book of MCQ. In my next class, I would be talking about the mobile genetic elements, and we would be discussing about what are these mobile genetic elements, how these mobile genetic elements are going to be learned, and what manner the transposons are going to work. How does transposons act, and what is the process of
Transposition is a
transposition?
form of genetic.
Okay, so we would be talking about transposition, that how does transposition takes place in our genetic materials. Okay, so we are going to look at transposition tomorrow. Until then, you just keep on revising the things, and then we would be talking and completing this process of entire process of translocation, okay, and transposition. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. If you have any query, you just give me a message and that would be solved. Okay, thank you. Good night. Bye bye. Tata.